Hi, I'm Lacey with Restart Ahead. Thanks for joining me today. I know your time is precious, so I'm keeping this focused, just you and me, talking about something every Head Start fiscal manager deals with, building a cost allocation plan that actually holds up in monitoring. Before we get into it, I want to share something from my own experience. I personally have reviewed nearly 100 cost allocation plans from all kinds of programs across multiple states. And you know what? No two are alike. Every program does it a little differently. And that's okay, because no two programs are the same. But I also know that for us fiscal types, the ones who like everything by the book and want to keep our programs safe and compliant, that variation isn't very comforting. It leaves us wondering if we're doing enough or doing it right. That's exactly why I founded Restart Ahead. The rules are very clear that you must have a cost allocation plan. 2 CFR Part 200.415 says, it has to be certified and submitted with every funding application. 2 CFR Part 200.400 D&E says every cost allocation has to be traceable to the right funding source. And 45 CFR Part 1303.5 requires you to allocate costs properly so you stay under that 15% admin limit. But here's the part no one says out loud. The regulations give almost zero guidance on what the actual document should look like or how detailed it needs to be. HeadStart.gov has tip sheets, but no templates, no examples, nothing that's practical and helps us be by the book. If you've ever felt like you're the only one staring at a blank page wondering, is this what they really want? You're not alone. Most fiscal managers I've worked with feel exactly the same way. That's why I built this free, quick check to turn that vague requirement into something clear, practical, and defensible. You're in the right place. This cost allocation plan quick check is your fast, private way to see exactly where your current plan stands, so you can stop guessing and start strengthening the pieces that actually matter in monitoring. Here's how it works. You'll rate each item on a simple 4-point scale. 4 is strong, fully documented, implemented, and defensible. 3 is adequate, generally in place, but could be clearer. You think it could be fully documented, implemented, and defensible, but it isn't just yet. 2 is weak, partially addressed, or inconsistent. You don't know if this can be compliant yet, but you're working on it. You give yourself a 0 if it's missing or completely not addressed and you think it should be. This may have been overlooked in the past. You may not even have known it was a thing. Doesn't matter. Just give yourself a 0. Or if it's something that doesn't apply to your program at all, check not applicable. These items won't count against you. You'll add up all your points, calculate your percentage, and get a clear picture of your risk level. Your free downloadable companion, the full checklist, is waiting for you in the description below. Grab it now. We'll work through it together. Or you can print it and fill it out later. Get ready to take some notes and feel free to pause this video if you need to. Let's quickly walk through what you'll be assessing. Section 1 is your core structure. Does your cost allocation plan clearly name who owns it? How does your governing body provide oversight? And the effective date with your version control. Make sure you've documented when this took effect and if it was changed. Section 2, allocation methodology. Is cost allocation clearly defined? Are your methods and formulas written down? And most importantly, do they actually match how your program operates day to day? Is it well documented? Section 3, cost pools and bases. Are your cost pools well defined? Are the allocation bases justified? Do you identify your data sources? And is there a regular review process in place for ongoing monitoring of changes? Section 4, personnel costs. Have you identified your staff roles? Have you documented your time study method? Do you have a time study method? Have you defined your payroll controls? And have you confirmed that the time studies are applied consistently and are updated appropriately? Section 5, financial integration. Does your cost allocation plan line up with your chart of accounts? Are allocation entries consistent? Do you perform reconciliations? And is there proper segregation of duties? Do you have all of this documented in your policies and procedures? Can a reviewer walk through those with you, and can you explain them properly? Section 6, compliance and controls. Are unallowable costs excluded? Is your indirect cost approach defined? Does your documentation actually support the allocations that you have in place? And have you set a clear document retention policy to prove when there have been changes or to prove how you've done it in the past compared to how you do it today? Section 7, risk and privacy. Does your cost allocation plan contain any personally identifiable information? Do you have an example in there that maybe has too many details in it? Is your data properly summarized so that it excludes all of that personally identifiable information? Is it stored securely? And do you review it regularly? Once you finish the checklist, you'll calculate your score. Here's what those percentages will tell you. If you got a 90% or higher, you are monitoring ready. You might be able to improve a little here and there. You might be able to clearly define things a little bit better, maybe even keep your documents a little bit more in check. But generally speaking, you're ready to go. If you got a 75 to 89% score, you're operational. You have some improvements that we could recommend, but generally speaking, you're operating just fine. You just need to tighten things up a little bit. If you got a 60 to 74% score, you're a moderate compliance risk. You're in that kind of gray area where you might be able to pass a review as long as they don't ask the wrong questions. If you're below 60%, you're a high monitoring risk. You're most likely going to get caught up in some kind of finding if the reviewer takes any deep look at your cost allocation plan and if it is actually followed in your organization. This is a high-level screening tool. This checklist is not a full compliance review, but it's incredibly effective at showing you where you're at. Being able to go through all of those sections and determine whether or not those things exist or whether or not they need to be tuned up a little is going to help you to be able to move forward with actionable items. Quick note though, this checklist is general guidance only. Completing it does not guarantee that you are in compliance or that you will successfully complete monitoring. That is completely up to the reviewer and the monitors. You and your program remain fully responsible for meeting all of those federal requirements in the regulations. However, if you can defend your plan, you're on the right track, and this checklist will help you get there. So where do we go from here? If your score is strong, fantastic. You now have a quick way to keep checking yourself ongoing and to be able to do internal training, be able to help other people in your organization understand what this cost allocation plan means, why it's there, what these sections mean, and why they're important. If your score is not quite where you want it to be, I've got you covered. You have 3 options. You can take my full cost allocation plan development training series. We start with the cost principles in part 1 and move on to building your complete plan in part 2. Plus, there's an interactive workbook. All of these will be released soon. Or you can schedule a one-on-one cost allocation plan review with me. I'll look at your current documentation and I'll give you specific, actionable feedback. And lastly, if you're feeling completely out of your depth, if you're not actually the fiscal manager, if you're the director and you're just trying to fill in while looking for a fiscal manager who knows what they're doing, I've got you covered there. Let me build a fully customized cost allocation plan for you as a contractor. Restart Ahead offers all of these options. You choose what fits your program best. I'm here to help you start strong and stay strong. I'm excited to see you strengthen your fiscal systems and move forward with confidence. If you have any questions or you want to talk about taking the next steps, I'm only an email or a calendar invite away. Take care.